Great Danes are, well, very tall dogs. They have these long legs. Honestly, it's like they're walking on stilts. Those legs lift the dog high into the air, and when a Great Dane stands up, it is really tall. They can see things that small dogs just can't, like they can look over fences, or see what's on the kitchen counter. This height is a huge part of who they are. It's usually the first thing people notice. The world looks different from way up there. Everything is, closer to their nose. Their bodies are big and strong, and they've got this sleek coat of fur. That fur can come in a bunch of colors. It might be fawn, which is kind of a light brown, or brindle with those tiger stripes. Or it could be black, blue, or harlequin, which is that white with black patches. Their ears can be floppy or stand up straight, and their long tails just wag back and forth. Honestly, a happy Dane's tail can knock things over. It's a powerful tail on a powerful dog. Their size is just, well, really impressive to behold. Walking with a Great Dane is something special. Their stride is long and graceful, and they kind of move like elegant horses. Each step covers a lot of ground, and it looks like they're not even trying, they just glide along the sidewalk. But these long legs can also be pretty clumsy. A young Dane is still figuring out how to use them, and sometimes they trip over their own feet. It's kind of like a tall dancer learning a new step. They're beautiful, but also a little bit awkward all at once. This great height gives them a unique view of our world. They actually live at our level. They don't have to jump up to see our faces. They can just rest their big chin on our shoulder and look us right in the eye. That makes for a really special connection. It's a bond between a person and a very large dog. They're not just pets hanging out on the floor, they're giants who share our human-sized space. They see the world from a height that's almost like our own. Great Danes might look really serious. Their faces can seem noble and proud, but honestly, inside, they're often just silly clowns. They love to play games, and they'll chase a ball with a ton of excitement. But then, sometimes, they just forget the ball and run in big happy circles. That's what we call the zoomies. A Great Dane doing the zoomies is, well, a hilarious sight. Their long legs go in every direction, and they look kind of like a clumsy cartoon character come to life. They just find joy in simple, goofy movements, and they've got a really playful spirit. Their expressions are also super funny. A Great Dane can make so many faces. They can look surprised with those wide eyes, or grumpy with a droopy mouth. They often look confused with their head tilted to one side. They're just really expressive dogs, and you can almost tell what they're thinking just by looking at their face. That's part of their charm. They're not just big dogs, they're big personalities. Their faces tell a story of silliness and curiosity. This playful nature lasts their whole life. Even old Great Danes love to be goofy. They might not run as fast, but they'll still try to play. Maybe they'll bring you a toy and drop it in your lap, or lean against you and make a funny noise. They remind us not to take life too seriously, and show us that it's totally okay to be a little bit silly sometimes. They're giant dogs with a giant sense of humor, majestic clowns on stilts. Despite their huge size, Great Danes are actually very gentle. They seem to know they're big, and they're careful around small children and other animals. They move slowly and softly, like they're trying not to scare anyone. This gentleness is a surprise to a lot of people. Folks expect a big dog to be rough, but the Great Dane is a true gentle giant. Their heart is as big as their body, and they're just full of love and kindness. They honestly believe they're small lap dogs. A Great Dane will try to sit on your lap, doesn't matter if you're on a big couch or a tiny chair. They'll back up and just plop down, not realizing they don't actually fit. They just want to be close to their person. Having a 150-pound dog on your lap is, well, a strange feeling. It's heavy and warm, and you definitely can't move, but you feel super loved. That's their special way of cuddling. This need for closeness is really at the core of their personality. They're not dogs you can just leave alone in the backyard. They need to be with their family. They'll follow you from room to room. If you're cooking, they're in the kitchen. If you're watching TV, they're right there on the couch with you. Sometimes people call them Velcro dogs because they stick so close to their people. They need connection and affection, and their love is quiet and constant. You see it in the way they lean against your legs, the soft thump of their tail when you come into the room, and the gentle nudge of their big head against your hand. They don't have to bark or jump to show their love. Their calm presence is enough. They're a comforting, steady companion, and their gentle spirit just makes a house feel like a home. They really are loving giants who just want to be part of the family. The Great Dane is definitely a dog of contrasts. They're a mix of opposite things. Majestic and graceful, kind of like royalty but also clumsy and goofy. Just like a clown. They can look so serious and noble one moment, and the next they're tangled up in their own legs. That mix is what makes them so special. They're beautiful, but also funny, elegant but also awkward. It makes them endlessly interesting to watch and be around. Their size can be intimidating to some people. A stranger might see a Great Dane and feel a little scared. They're just so big and powerful. But their personality is, honestly, the total opposite. They're sweet and loving, and they'd much rather get a pat on the head than scare anyone. They're big softies at heart. This contrast between their powerful appearance and their gentle soul is probably their most endearing quality. It's a wonderful surprise to discover the sweet dog inside that giant body. This combination of traits makes them really beloved by their owners. They're more than just a pet. They're a family member with a huge personality. They fill a home with laughter because of their silly behavior, and they fill it with love because of their affectionate nature. Living with a Great Dane means accepting the whole package. You take the clumsiness, the drool, and the fact that they take up the whole sofa, and you get so much joy in return. In the end, the Great Dane is a perfect example of why we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Their towering frame holds a heart full of silliness and love. They're the clowns of the dog world, dressed in the costume of a giant. They trip, they play, and they lean with all their weight, asking only for affection. For those who know and love them, Great Danes aren't just dogs. They're majestic, mismatched masterpieces, and really, there's nothing else quite like them.